Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Pre-Market PulseScan with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave price trigger reports that we place in your hand each and every trading morning. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend, got some time to relax and chill with friends and family and children. But now it's time to get back to work. This week is an interesting week for sure because guess what? It's Fed week. That's right. That means on Wednesday, we will be hearing from the FOMC. We don't know what's going to happen, but I will tell you one thing. There will be a 2:30 press conference. So the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, will be doing a conference at 2:30. So this week could be rather interesting. Let me break it down for you. So tomorrow we have the Empire State Index, Import Price Index. We have the Industrial Production Index, Capacity Utilization Rate, Real Median Household Income, Poverty Rate, Supplemental Rate, and Uninsured Rate Health Insurance, which is interesting. Then we have on Wednesday retail sales excluding autos with the NAHB Home Builders Index, excuse me, along with business inventories. All that comes out in the morning, and then in the afternoon it's all about the FOMC. And then, of course, Thursday we have the initial jobless claims, continuing jobless claims, housing starts, building permits, and the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. That's all on Thursday. Then on Friday we got the current account deficit and the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. So that will be a market moving event on Take Back Friday. All right, so that's what we're looking at. That's what we're coming into this week. Looking at the overnight markets, we got the Dow futures up 245 points at 27,738. The NASDAQ 100 is up 161.5 points at 11,210.5. The E-mini S&P 500 is up 41 points at 3364.25. Russell My Hustle is up 20.2 points at 1509.5. The Bitcoin Futures Composite Index is up 270 points at 10,610. Nat gas is up 8 cents at $2.35. Crude oil is down a quarter, and it's trading at $37.07 a barrel. The long bond is up 9.30 seconds, trading at 176 and 28.30 seconds. Gold is up $17.90, trading at $1,965.80 per ounce. And silver is up 42 cents, trading at $27.27 per ounce. Take a look at the US dollar index. It is down 39 pips, trading at 92.93. And you got the euro dollar up 54 pips at 119.09. Pound sterling is trading up 102 pips at 128.98. Aussie is up 11 pips at 72.87. Canadian dollar is down 6 pips at 131.69. Euro yen is up 24 pips at 125.80. Dollar yen down 25 pips at 105.86. And the Kiwi is up 40 pips at 67.04. Soybeans up 3 3/4 points at 9.99 3/4. We got corn up 1.5 at 3.70 even, and wheat up 1 at 5.43 even. All right, now as far as overnight market news is concerned, we have, let's see here, we got going on. Apple and Tesla have been trading off of weird game theory, says money manager Jeff Mills, who thinks tech stocks have further to fall. Apple and Tesla stock prices are trading off of weird game theory despite their recent stock splits, a top money manager said. Let's see here. We have another thing. Let's see. The psychology is even more dangerous than 20 years ago. A Wall Street investment chief says stock valuations are giving him .com bubble flashbacks and warns of a major meltdown in the next year. Cast your mind back to the days in March when stocks were in free fall and everything around you, from the NBA to weekend plans, was suddenly postponed indefinitely. All right, let's see here. Morgan Stanley says a largely overlooked policy shift by the Fed is setting up investors' favorite stocks for a major disruption. It looks like TikTok isn't selling off its U.S. operations at all. Now, its U.S. future hangs on whether Trump walks back his threat to ban the app. Tesla investors should be watching for M&A for S&P inclusion. Tesla investors were disappointed after the company was snubbed in the S&P 500's latest round of inclusions, but the electric automaker's entry could still happen at any time, and a merger by others in the benchmark index might help. Very interesting. Global stocks are mixed. European stocks are down a little. Asian stocks closed up. U.S. futures here in America, we're up around 0.9, 1.1, and 1.6% respectively. Earnings coming in, we have Lennar Corp Q3 2020 and Systems D Q3 20 earnings are coming in. And on the economic front, we have the U.S. 3-month bill auction and the 6-month bill auction due. So that is the overnight news that is going on. And other than that, let's take a look at some other things underneath of the hood. Let's see here what's going on. Let's see here. I want to find something decent to go over. Sometimes finding something that's decent can be a chore in and of itself, but I always try to find something that is a little light, especially for a Monday. Try not to get too deep, too serious first thing in the morning, but I have to admit, at times that's a little bit tougher than you might think. Let's see here. Let's see. Global COVID-19 cases top 29 million after the WHO reports records jump. But that's messed up because on the CDC's site, they said that the numbers were pretty abysmally low, and exaggerated is an understatement. Now, all of a sudden, that news has fallen on the back burner, and they're reporting these ridiculous numbers again. I got to tell you, I've seen people pretty much getting back to normal. The roads were pretty heavily traveled yesterday. I saw people eating outside. I saw people walking around with no masks. I saw people congregating in groups with no masks. And it looks like everything's pretty much back to normal. Schools are open. Life is going on. Here's something good news for you. Amazon is hiring 100,000 workers ahead of a holiday season amid pandemic-inspired e-commerce boom. They said that they are opening 100 buildings this month alone. All right, so there is some bright spots there. Also, Trump supposedly is in the process of bringing some peace to the Middle East. Bahrain and some other locations are already on board. All right, bringing peace to the Middle East, agreeing to peace with Israel. Could this be a sign of things to come? I don't know. See what else we got going on here. Oh, now, if you're like me, I do not oversaturate myself with news. For the most part, I try to avoid as much news as possible these days. That was not always the case. I would spend at least 8 hours a day, excuse me. Excuse me. I would spend about 8 hours a day going through news and doing research and whatnot. But I don't do that anymore. I try to avoid as much news as possible, unless it, is directly impacting the markets. And some of the reasons for that is because I want to stay focused on, what I do. Another reason too is because there's so much foolishness out there and fake news and all types of agendas going on that I only deal with things that are true and that, mean something. For instance, I know you guys probably heard about them talking about COVID stomach symptoms, saying that there's some type of GI symptoms associated with the COVID, and that can help them predict outbreaks and things of that nature. Now, this is the first time I've ever heard of COVID having to do with anything with the GI tract. All we've heard about COVID is, flu symptoms, and that was pretty much it. Basically mild, except for like the elderly and people who are really sick. We really just hear about flu symptoms. Last time I checked, having GI issues had nothing to do with the flu. Had nothing to do with the flu. You just had fevers and sweats, things like that. So I don't know. I think this is a slick way for them to introduce the new strain that they've been working on to introduce to the public, in my opinion. Another thing that we have seen being introduced to the public is these wildfires now in Oregon and California. And word on the street is that it's all manufactured, meaning that it's arson. It did not occur naturally in nature. It's arson. All right. So I do believe that they figured they would pull a Hong Kong, because notice how Hong Kong was out of control. They were losing Hong Kong. They were not going to be able to do what they wanted to do. So problem, action, solution. The solution was to release the coronavirus that will clear the streets and allow the government to, regain control, which is exactly what happened. I mean, that is exactly what happened. Well, in this situation, Portland, they were losing Portland. Said, what are we going to do? There's nothing we can do there. What did they do? Nothing that can clear a room better than a fire. Now that the fires are raging, you ain't see nobody doing no looting and rioting and taking over neighborhoods. And now when it's on fire. So that's a good way to clear out the riffraff, right? Light a fire, a big fire. So I think we're living in a new normal, meaning that it's normal now for false flag events to happen, just infinitely. Not only do we have infinite stimulus, we also have infinite warfare, infinite propaganda, infinite, ridiculous absurdities coming from the powers that be. So I don't know. I know I don't like what I see. I think that things are about to get really complex and ridiculous as we get closer to November. Now, why is that? Heck if I know. Heck if I know. I know. What do I know? What do I know? I can only go by what I see. Speaking of which, this is something very interesting as well, as we're coming in to what we're, this new week, new trading week. All right, so those that subscribe to the PulseWave price triggers, you will notice there were only a smidgen of rally or crash alerts this morning. The Dow futures came into today with a rally alert, and you saw that the Dow is up a little bit here. The other markets, though, the other stock indexes, did not have any special alerts. I can just tell you, though, that coming into today, With the rally alert and the Dow, the bias is to the long side of the market. The Bitcoin Futures Composite Index came in today with a bias toward the long side of the market. Even the S&P 500, though, came in today with a bias toward the downside. And gold futures has a bias toward the long side. And that gas actually has a bias toward the downside. We'll see if we get an all-out reversal today. It is possible, but probably not likely. Then we got the NASDAQ came into today with a bias toward the long side of the market. Oil came into today with a bias toward the long side of the market. Then we got the Russell My Hustle came into today with the bias toward the downside of the market, and silver comes in today with a bias toward the long side of the market. It should also be noted that taking a look across the board here, we got the pound is in the Kumo cloud on the algo chart. The dollar yen is in the Kumo cloud on the algo chart. Gold futures is in the Kumo cloud on the algo chart. So is crude oil. So is the Russell My Hustle. So things are shaping up to be a little interesting. Now, it also should be noted that the Dow is in correction mode on the daily chart. So is the Bitcoin Futures Composite Index. So is the E-mini S&P 500. So is gold futures. So is the NASDAQ. All right. However, the Russell is in the Kumo cloud. So we have a mixed bag coming into this week. I think that by Wednesday, this should all be sorted out. All right, and there's the opening bell, too, for those that need to handle some business, move some stops and the like. I'm trying to ascertain what type of price action we will most likely have coming into Wednesday. Because at the end of the day, you really have until Wednesday before 2 o'clock if the market's going to do anything. Normally, we kind of rally into the announcement on a Fed week. There are times too where the market falls going into a Fed week until Wednesday, but 9 times out of 10 the markets like to move higher going into the announcement, and then if he says something whack, the market will just go ahead and reverse itself. Kind of like what happened on Friday. Friday had crazy volatility. So we are at that time. We're living in the times now where insane volatility is no stranger to these markets, and it's nothing new. I mean, we already knew coming into today that volatility was going to be off the chain anyway, because here we are now in September. We're mid-month, and we're getting closer to that November event. Now, a contested election obviously is not going to be good for the markets. Markets hate uncertainty. So if we end up having a contested election, if Trump loses and refuses to leave office and contest the election, who knows what's going to happen with all of that. But the other bet, for those of you who are betting people, the other bet will be how long, if Biden wins, how long before he steps down due to health issues? When do they make that announcement? Because we know that is the obvious announcement. The obvious announcement is coming when he will be. We know he's going to announce. If he wins, he will be announcing rather early during the election. I'm going to think probably within the first 100 days of office is when he will make that announcement. Okay, and pass the baton to Kamala. I think that's obvious. Most people who've been paying attention understands that is the game plan, because he is not fit to be president. Biden is not fit to be president health-wise. He's not healthy enough. All right, and we all know that. All right, it's a no-brainer. They know that's why he's only running using his juice to help get Kamala in the White House. So How long? How many days before he bows out gracefully and passes the baton to Kamala? Because we know that's going to happen. And then if that happens, who will be the vice president when she becomes president? I don't know the rules. Maybe those of you in the chat can break that down for those who know the rules and the laws governing those type of things. Can the new president pick whoever they want to be vice president? Like, can Kamala say, now that I'm president, I'm going to bring my girl Michelle Obama to be my vice president? Can she do that? Or can she say, forget that, Obama himself is going to be my vice president? Can she do that? Can she choose anyone she wants? Or is there some type of rule that governs that? Okay, all right. Thunderbird in the live chat says Omar. Yeah, she could do that. She could do that. I don't know how tight they are, and I don't know what her level or what her real role is within the whole Democratic Party. I know her name's been out there a lot, but I don't know what kind of juice she might have. I don't know if that's what they want. I don't know if they want two women or if they want another dude to come up in there. I don't know how they want it. I don't know what their game plan is. I'm not going to pretend to know. But yeah, Omar, I forgot about Omar. She could tap her. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. I just know that if they do win, that Biden will, I don't think Biden will even see out a full the first 100 days. Not at all. Because how will he be able to address the nation? He can't. He can't address the nation because then that would make them look foolish. He can't do any type of he can't talk. They can't allow him to get on the mic. He can't answer questions. He can't do a State of the Union. He can't do any of that stuff. Okay, Sam in the live chat says, wouldn't it fall to Speaker of the House after the VP? See, I don't know the rules. I'm not. That's one thing. I don't try to pretend I know things that I know nothing about. If I don't know, I'm gonna come out and tell y'all, hey, this is above my pay grade. I don't know nothing about that. So I really don't know. So I'm asking you guys. But that's interesting. So you're saying then that Nancy Pelosi could end up being the vice president? Ouch. Ouch. I think I'd rather have Biden in there. I'd rather have Biden in there, man. Okay, Kyle says, yes, you can choose anyone except Obama, since Obama was already president twice. And if something happened to her, he would be president again. Okay, but now here's my question with that, because I don't know. I'm asking questions. To my understanding, didn't he change the law? Didn't he do some type of presidential order when he was in office, like removing the term limit? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I could have sworn that when Obama was in office, I think he did it during his second term, that he changed the rules as far as term limits for the president. So someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn during his during his second term he did that. Excuse me. All right. Michael says, how was Ford picked when Agnew stepped down as VP? You know what? That's another darn good question. Heck if I know. I'm not a political science major or nothing like that, so I don't know the rules. I really don't. I don't know how that works. So these are good questions to think about, though. How would that? What does that look like? What does the White House look like? Okay, so you think he did? Yeah, I don't remember either, man. I think Obama. I could have sworn I heard that he changed the law with the term limit, giving the president like a third term, or I think it's unlimited. I think he did it to make it unlimited. So this is again, we're in a territory we've never been in before. I cannot recall in my little short lifespan where a president was elected knowing that this person would not remain the standing president, meaning that you use this person's political clout because really what you're trying to do is put the vice president as president. They know that Kamala couldn't run on her own as the front runner and choose Biden as her vice president. She doesn't have that much political clout, but running off of Biden's clout, making him the front person, knowing that he cannot physically, mentally, emotionally handle such an office, it's really just to get her to be president. That's really what this is about, making her president. So I don't know. I mean, we know what the game is. We know that's the game plan. That's the agenda, to make Kamala the president. But again, how long before Biden steps down, and when and if that happens, which I believe is not an if but when, who will be the new vice president? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're all incorrect. Maybe it's not about Kamala or Biden. Maybe it's about that question mark person as vice president. Maybe it's not really what we think. Maybe this is just a smokescreen to get some person we don't even know, never even heard of, to make them president. Here's what I mean. You got them running off of Biden's political clout, getting Kamala in there so that Kamala can be the president. But what if they don't really want her to stay the president? What if that's just to put a face on it, and then when she turns president, she picks a vice president who they really want to be the president, and then she stepped down. There's no rule saying that people can't quit and step down and play musical chairs to get who you really want in that office. There is no rules. That I know. People can step down as many times as they want. Right now, Trump could step down, and then the vice president will be president, and then the vice president can say, "You know what? I thought I wanted this job, but I really don't. I'm leaving too. I retire. I quit." And then they can do whatever they want. Once they get in the White House, it seems like they can pretty much do whatever they want. So I don't know. Yeah, Dar, in the live chat, I thought that too. But let's be honest, since Obama and Trump have been in office, we have seen presidential orders fly around like paper airplanes. You know what I'm saying? Presidential order. We've seen that. We have seen that. I thought you had to change the Constitution to do things too. But obviously, that's not the case. I mean, they're doing whatever they want to do. Breaking news, traders. Oracle shares halted for news pending. So if you are trading Oracle, it's not your computer that's freezing up. The Oracle shares have been halted for news pending. I don't know what that's about. So just FYI, anyone looking to operate in Oracle today, the stock has been traded. It's halted. Look, it just shot up this morning, and then they halted it. So I don't know what's going on in Oracle. Yeah, this is interesting. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, so these are just questions I have floating around because I don't know, and I don't spend too much time on meditating on that, but it is just something to think about. Like, what does that look like? What is a Biden presidency really going to look like? Is he really going to chill in the White House and serve out a term and get Kamala to address the people? Yeah, Kyle, you're right. Kamala better watch her back. It depends on what they want to do. Maybe they're not even privy to what's really going on. They could just be pawns and all this too. Okay, Sam says he can do this because he is under emergency war times. Yeah, you're right, because when I think that was the whole political push to declare the coronavirus, you know what I'm saying, an epidemic, because like you said, then that helps to strengthen the emergency war times acts and all that. Very, very interesting. Okay, Sling says FDR didn't want to be elected a fifth term, so term limits were introduced his last term, if memory serves. All right, and then Dar says executive orders weren't the way the founders expected things to get done. Yeah, I agree, but in a way, though, if you think about it, what do you do? If there's a stalemate in the House and the Senate, what do you do? If no one can agree on what needs to be done, but something definitely needs to be done where nothing is the worst possible outcome. You can't do nothing. You have to do something. Senate can't agree. House can't agree. What do you do? What do you do? You have to, as a president, it will be good to have some type of executive orders, not abuse it, but to be able to have it, and just in case something like that happened. You know, case in point, I know this is an extreme example, but let's say a U.S. city got nuked by a foreign enemy, and we know who the enemy is. And let's say for whatever reason, the House can't agree on what to do, and the Senate can't agree on what to do. Let's say it's split down the middle. But doing nothing is worse. What do you do as the president? Do you push the button and say, here's an executive order, we're going to fire back? Just using that as a crazy example. But you see what I'm saying? So I don't know. But I'll tell you what I do know. Excuse me. Depending on what happens this November, it will have a direct impact to the financial markets. All markets, every market. Every market is going to be affected. So I see 2016 playing itself out all over again. All right. Unfortunately, instead of me being able to chill and relax, I see myself having to go live at some point during the election night like I did in 2016. Because I'm going to tell you what I see happening. I see 2016 happening again, where if it looks like Biden is going to win, the Dow will probably fall about 3,000 to 5,000 points, and everyone who is a big player in the markets is going to withdraw their money out heavy. They're going to get out of Dodge, because that's what they did on the night of 2016 during the presidential election, when it looked like Trump was not going to get in. The Dow dropped 1,000+ points. It was an insane night in the markets. And then once it looked like, okay, nope, it looks like he's going to win, that's when the market recovered. So Trump is good for the markets. The markets are voting for Trump. A Biden win would destroy any hopes of a bull market regaining itself if he wins, because of what he stands for. All right. Remember, they want, to do away with capitalism. They want communism. All right. They want to control everything. They want everyone to be impoverished and to be under the thumb and the boot of the government. They want tyranny. And they are not even blushing when they say it. They're admitting it. So the markets are not going to like that at all. And I can tell you this too, those that have the means and the wherewithal will leave the country. You will see a flight from an exodus from America like you've never seen before. Anyone who has money is going to leave, because they know that their tax rate, they know that the capital gains tax rate is going to go to 90% if Biden gets in office. So they're going to leave. They're going to withdraw their monies and everything. All right. So, amen to that, Kyle. He says, as long as I know those pulse waves, that's all I need to know. There you go. Regardless of what happens, the pulse waves are going to be doing what they do. You already know that. Regardless of market conditions, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We have our thumb on the pulse of the market. So the market can go up, the market can go down. It doesn't matter. We're all over it, and we'll be all over it, especially on election night. Going into the election night, we're going to have our fingers on the trigger, and we'll be ready to do what we do. So the election night means nothing to us. Volatility means nothing to us. We welcome volatility. We love volatility. The more volatility on the table, the more money that can be made. So we good. We're not those people who run away from volatility. You need volatility. You just have to know how to manage it and how to trade it, which unfortunately a lot of people don't. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how to handle that. And so they blow themselves up. But we're gonna ride it. We're gonna make it do what it do. We're gonna make it work for us because that's just how we roll. But yeah, these are things that you need to ponder and think about. You know what I'm saying? We think about these things before it happens. We go there before it happens. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have a plan. You have to know how to do stuff. All right. So France says Biden wins, Trump goes nowhere, and the riots rip, empire comes down. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But like I said, don't forget the useful idiot rules and laws. Once they get in, yeah, they're gonna let it do what it do. But here's the downside of that. I told you they're coming for all of them. Every useful idiot is going to be locked up as soon as Biden takes office. They're going to come in with the military, clean them streets up, and lock everybody up in the process. You don't have to like it, but you do have to address it. And I'm here to tell you, they're not playing. Every useful idiot that rioted thought they were winning brownie points with the party are about to be sorely, sorely misled. And they're coming for you. They're going to say, we can't allow rioting and looting to go unabated, can we? We can't do that. So they're going to come in with the full force of the military, and they're going to shut all of that down. And then people were saying, why didn't they do it earlier? Well, it wasn't convenient to do it earlier. Plus, Trump wouldn't let us. So they'll throw him under the bus and blame him for the riots that they organized and started. That's how that goes. So just want to let you guys know. They already know all of your names, addresses, phone numbers, next of kin, everything about you. And that it's going to start rounding people up. I believe it will, depending on what stage they want to take it, there's a big chance that it will be done quietly and not even talked about in the mainstream media. They'll just round you all up. That way the people remain ignorant of what's going on. And they'll just do what they do. They'll make it do what they do. So that is the big problem I see with all of this, is that a lot of people think that they're on their side. Oh, we're one of you. Yes, Black Lives Matter. Yes, Antifa. Yes, this or that. Doesn't matter. You're not one of them. You're not in the club. They just used you. They put a battery in your back and made you think you were part of the club when you're not. And then once they don't need you anymore, that's when they throw you under the bus. All right, so get ready. All right, Silver Delivery says Oracle and TikTok deal shares surge. Okay, so Oracle. Now, see, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Now, here's hypocrisy right now before our eyes. You ready? How and why did Oracle pop like that? Okay, we know the why. We know because there's a deal going on with TikTok. But the share surged before the news came out. So because Oracle is a stock, is that not insider trading? Who knew of that process, of that deal being done? Who knew? The people in the know got long the market heavy, and now the stock is soaring. See, that's supposed to be insider trading, which is illegal. No one can know. No one's supposed to know that. So here you see right now the law being broken right before your eyes. Oracle cannot move like that unless there are people in the know. That's why they halted the stock price. I think an investigation now needs to take place because that's called insider trading. Someone knew. Who knew that was happening? They need to look at the trading accounts of the CEO, the CFO, the COO, all of the managers and directors in the corporation. They need to look at all of their trading account activity and find out what happened, and look at the trading activity of their friends and their family. Because if any one of them went long the market before this news hit, they should all be going to jail, because that's insider trading. You can't do that in stocks. You can do it in futures, you can do it in forex, you can do it in crypto, but you cannot do it in stocks. You cannot do insider trading. You cannot use information that has not been released to the public to make money in these markets. So I don't know what they're doing. See what I'm saying? It's like all types of corruption is just being allowed to just go and go unabated, unchallenged. No one's doing anything about it. They don't care. And it's messed up. It's messed up. It really is. Now, don't get me wrong. Coming into today, we had a very interesting setup in Oracle. Very interesting setup. We have a primary crash alert in Oracle because the market has been on the downtrend, but then when this news comes out, it totally reverses that. Now we got no downside production this morning from Oracle, but on the other hand, we had a secondary rally alert in Oracle coming into today. If you guys take a look at your dashboard, those of you who are subscribed, if you just want to see, how the system was moving today in Oracle, you'll see that secondary rally alert, but you also see the primary crash alert. We got no downside production there, but you can see how technically coming into today, the system already got long Oracle on September the 10th. Okay, so the system's been long Oracle since September the 10th. We had a primary rally alert coming into September the 10th, which did get upside production. So if you are a person who likes to trade in Oracle and you're wishing that you would have known about this information, well, the algo charts already picked up buying activity on September the 9th for September the 10th trading. Very interesting, to say the least. That's why I developed the pulse waves for that reason right there, because the common man is woefully at a disadvantage, woefully disadvantaged in trading these markets where the algorithms are taking over. So once again, that's why I love the pulse waves, because boom, we capture everything before it happens. And that's just the beauty of it, Now, I didn't know the market was going to go up as far as that news. I knew nothing about the news. All right, I'm just telling you that 3 trading sessions ago, the system had it locked and loaded. And like I say, you can go into your dashboard. You can see that information there. So anyhow, just stay alert is all I can tell you guys this week. Stay alert. It's probably not a bad idea to get, if there's any trading to be done, try to get it done before 2 o'clock on Wednesday when the Fed comes out, because you just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen or what they're going to say. The Fed has been known at times, in times past, to surprise the markets and to do and say things that people weren't expecting. It's not all the time, but I think that this is definitely something that you need to think about, because we are in uncertain times. And yeah, you just want to be prepared for that. Now, the word on the street is that this time is going to be different. The word on the street is that the Fed is expected to finally succeed in boosting inflation. That's what they think. All right, that's what they think. On August the 27th, the Fed Chair Powell and the Federal Open Market Committee, they made history, rolling out a new inflation targeting framework, which is believed that the central bank is now more likely to achieve its desired inflation target in the current cycle. If it does, this new framework may well be Chair Powell's legacy. Now, the Fed replaced its old symmetric 2% inflation target with a flexible average inflation targeting framework, which emphasizes that the Fed will target an inflation overshoot if recoveries following inflation shortfalls during downturns. And this has important implications for the economic and policy outcomes over the medium term. And most specifically, under Powell's leadership, the Fed has now solidified a more dovish path than in previous recoveries. Now, under the new outcome-based approach, the Fed needs evidence of inflation before raising rates, rather than simply forecasting that it will rise. Now, had this policy framework been in place in the last cycle, with inflation and unemployment evolving exactly as they did, the Fed might have delayed liftoff to as late as 2018, with its overall policy stance more accommodative for longer. So they're really going to be looking for the language from the Fed announcement on Wednesday, and people are going to also be paying attention to that press conference that follows directly thereafter. So we got some things going on this week. All right, so keep your eyes open to see what kind of clues we're gonna get. I do believe that I think some good opportunities will be there, but they may be a little limited to after the 2:30 Fed conference. All right, so just keep on watch for that. Just keep a watchful eye for that, because we just don't know at this point. All right, so with that being said, man, that's all I got for today. So remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And don't forget, we still are running our special. We decided to extend it from last week. I'm sorry, I said last week. Last week, we've extended it. So go to PulseWaveTrading.com and take advantage of that before it goes away. All right. So I'm out. I'll see everybody in the trading room. Everyone else, I'll see you for the end of day report. Peace.